Welcome back to the CryptoFather channel. Today is the 19th of November, and we're doing this for the second time because I goofed up on the first round. But in today's video, I've got Kevin joining us from Palladium once again in order to talk about the updates for TradeOgre and what's happening. Welcome back, Kevin, once again.
Thanks for having me back. I feel like I was just here.
Deja vu. So we were just talking about all the wonderful things that were happening with TradeOgre, paperwork submission, and everything else. So maybe just give us a quick rundown of what transpired in the courts, so we have an idea.
Yeah, so on Monday, there was a special court session. The RCMP was looking to extend the seizure period for another year. Our attorney was present, and obviously we were going to be in objection of that because we don't want things prolonged any longer than possible. But after all the opening formalities, all they did was postpone the session, so nothing got decided, and
okay,
we don't know when the next attempt is going to be from the prosecution side, to if they're going to ask for another extension or if they're going to come back with something else. We don't know yet.
So it's even unclear on whether this postponement is going to take hold.
Well, the postponement is taking hold. That was.
The extension.
Yeah, the extension. Yeah. So as of right now, it's not, because it wasn't formally heard.
Okay. So the document that I saw was from the RCMP, and I guess they were looking for an extension until September 15th, 2026.
Yeah.
Right. So that didn't take hold yet. I guess you're going to hear back from the courts on that, whether that's going to be going through or not.
Yeah, and like what we were talking about the first time, it was kind of a short list of assets on there, right?
Right.
Compared to what we know was on TradeOgre, which was kind of strange. Also considering, we got information that they had seized 23 different servers, so maybe they're still in the process of, seizing more assets or getting into more servers.
Right.
And that's why they're asking for this extended time on these assets. And like I mentioned earlier, we found out that there was about 600,000 accounts on TradeOgre. Obviously, all of them probably weren't active, and there's probably some duplicates. I know I had several over the years, and I was only using a couple of them.
Right. 600 accounts, but only 500.
Only, less than 500 people were, trying to claim their assets back.
Right.
So, and most of them were, brought forth with us in our case. So,
okay,
very small percentage of other people, attempting to reclaim their funds.
All right, and I think that could probably be due to, I don't know, a sense of helplessness. So, can you just mention again once more what you said about the limits that you guys put on accepting new cases?
Yeah, so also we're making some changes too. We're not accepting any new claims at the moment, just because we need to focus on the claims that we received and obviously work on our project. That's kind of what we're really here for, is to work on our project. This was just kind of a side task to help as many people as we can, and I think we kind of reached that limit.
Yeah. Right. So I guess if you are in the position, to the audience, if you're in a position where you want to open a claim and you would like to contact Palladium, then make sure to contact them and have a chat, and they will decide whether to accept any more people onto their case. And so the other option would be to check out the information I shared in the community tab on the CryptoFather channel. There is an email, and I've listed all the requirements that the RCMP is asking for in order to submit a claim with them through the email that they provided, which is an extensive list, including where the heck did I...
Like the date your account was open,
Yeah.
how you funded it, things like that.
Username, yeah, the two-factor authentication, because I remember somebody was concerned over the fact that they, how would we submit a two-factor authentication number? So the RCMP wasn't asking for the actual number, they were asking for the method of the 2FA that was used. So in this case, I guess most
application you were using.
Yeah, so with TradeOgre, I think for the most part, it was only, I don't know, is there a way of using a different 2FA other than Google?
I used Authy.
Okay. So yeah, so the 2FA that you were using, not the numbers that you were using, because those change every 30 seconds, so that's impossible to provide. So check out that information. If you're not sure on where to find it, just go to the CryptoFather channel and go into the community section, posts, and there's a bunch of posts that you can, I think, share posts as well. Oh yeah, so the coins, there was a bunch of coins that were listed, not as many as you'd expect, right? So the presumption is that the RCMP either hasn't gotten a hold of all the coins yet from the servers, maybe they're still digging through and trying to get access to the servers, or that they're simply not sharing everything, because if they're private coins, then technically they don't need to be shared, like, I don't know, but Monero has, they did mention Monero, right?
Yeah, and that was the only like privacy coin listed in that, list that you saw earlier too. So very strange, because I mean there were dozens of privacy coins on TradeOgre.
There was another one that people were messaging. I think it's Jesus. I don't remember. Wow, maybe Wowcoin.
Wownero, yeah.
I honestly don't remember. I'm such an idiot when it comes to different coin names. I remember the top ones, but there's just too much to remember. I don't know if you ever take a look. I assume that you do. Look at CoinGecko. And CoinGecko at the top, it has the top gainers and the trending coins. And occasionally, quite often you see coins or tokens, pumping 400 or 100, 200% pumps. And every single time I check them out, they're a couple of days old. And they look like complete pump and dumps. So there's a lot of that stuff still going on.
Yeah, I know. It is strange, like I was saying. So I mean, our Canadian legal team is going to come back with some options later in the week for us, like what we can do to keep the case moving forward from our end as far as trying to recover the tokens.
Yeah.
So different possible angles we can take depending what the prosecution does next, in the case.
So the only way that this is moving forward is basically your legal team has to be in connection with the Canadian one, the legal team in Canada, right? Like they are the only ones that can actually access,
yeah, because they're in the jurisdiction over there.
Behind the bar, right? And no certain timelines. Wow. Okay, so it's just a continuous waiting game, waiting for the courts, waiting for the RCMP.
Yeah, I mean, unless our, Canadian attorneys can come up with a game plan that can speed this up somehow, maybe there's some sort of process that we can follow that would push this along a little faster or force the court to make a decision. That's kind of information that we're kind of holding out for.
Right.
Next.
Not great. And with the possible bear market are on the horizon. So maybe if I can get your thoughts on that. There are two schools of thought on the whole Bitcoin 4-year cycle. I'm a believer. I mean, because I went through like 3. This is the third one, I think, or maybe fourth one. Hard to 17, 20. Yeah, this is the third one. So I still believe that their 4-year cycle holds. But there's a lot of people who are thinking that, this is going to drag out into first quarter of 2026, and then we might see a decline. And there's some other people who think that, the bear markets are over and we're going to see retracements. Like this is the third retracement for Bitcoin, I think, within this past year. In February, there was a retracement of about 30%. In October, August, what was it? There was another one of like another 30%, and right now we're seeing another 29% retracement. And some people say that this is what we're going to see right now. that there won't be another dip of whatever 80% that we're going to see that, like, you know, highs and lows, but we won't be seeing these massive dumps anymore in Bitcoin because of the, I guess, the liquidity that has been pumped by institutional investors, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of torn on that because I personally think we're going to see the 4-year cycle again until that something really drastically breaks.
Yeah.
I mean, because there was liquidity, like more liquidity during the last 4-year cycle too, and it still went down.
Right.
You know, than previous cycles. So I think it's going to take something really major to break that 4-year cycle, in my personal opinion. So, I'll keep playing it as the 4-year cycle is going to happen. And if it doesn't, great. But you know, I won't take any long bets on it right now, for sure.
All the predictions, I think, that you heard from like Cathie Woods and all these guys on X-Men, they're always fun to hear. Because I think, like,
150,000, you know, 180,000 Bitcoin sounds amazing, right?
Yeah, well, Cathie Woods was pushing for like 1.5 million. And then I remember reading in an article, Cathie Woods has adjusted her prediction now to 1.2 million. I'm like, okay, so she dropped like 300K from her initial prediction. That's nice. Very reliable info.
That's a very optimistic. That's about the highest I think I've heard.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's maybe possible, but not this cycle. I think maybe 10, 20 years from now, quite possible, I think.
Yeah. And just dollar cost average, you know, if you got in near the top, you know, just buy a little every now and then.
Right.
And it'll average out and you'll be ahead, in 10 years.
And hopefully this TradeOgre thing turns out into something similar to Mt. Gox, where your assets are held for a decade or something, and then at the end they will all be returned, but we'll have 10x or 100x by then, and we're all going to be much, much richer.
Yeah, it's kind of like a forced savings plan, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just to keep you from spending it on silly things like aftershave and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. I guess that's it. We've got everything covered that we needed to cover, right?
Yeah.
For the time being. All right, man. Well, thank you again.
No, sorry, it wasn't more exciting news.
No, this is good. I mean, I think it's good to know what's happening and the fact that courts are slow at doing, and they're slow everywhere. In Korea, it's the same thing, and they're slow as hell with everything. So, but it's good to know that it's progressing, moving forward somehow, and it's going to be, I guess, a long time frame. We're not looking. The RCMP is not going to be closing cases. They're not going to be taking it. They don't have the right to just take the money. So it's going to be an ongoing case. And I would highly recommend for people who have not contacted the RCMP yet. I would highly recommend that you do send in those letters, even if you have, minuscule amounts or if you had minuscule amounts of whatever crypto you had on TradeOgre. I would still recommend to contact them just to let them know that you're interested in getting your funds back, so they don't have an excuse saying that, oh, nobody's contacted us, so I guess we're okay to keep it, right? Bombard them with emails.
That's what will happen in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Because that'll be the spiel, right? If nobody contacted us, that means nobody cares. Hence, we can keep what we've got. So message them and let them know that you would like to get your crypto back. And again, if you do have an urgent case, then contact Palladium. But like Kevin said, that will be decided case by case.
Yeah. Sorry, it has to be that way. It's just.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Very big task that we took on, and we got to, push our efforts back to the project now.
Because you got to process every single person individually, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Kevin. Any last words of wisdom?
Hey, just hang in there, stay positive. Crypto is the future. I still believe that 100%. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys for jumping in on the stream. Drop a message below the video. Let us know what you think. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, also leave them below the video. Smash the like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Kevin, take care, yeah? Bye-bye.